Austraeoh by Imploding Colon, read by Deathlight, Chapter 145, Glow. Above, in the battle-strewn streets of New Ring, a loud rumble drowned out the cannon fire, a magical exchange of bullets. The unicorn guards slid to a stop, sweating and looking every which way with nervous jitters. Trembling citizens, hugging their loved ones, gazed out from where they hid beneath the crumbling pieces of the city's wall. All the violence and chaos settled just in time for the Darksenians to drink in the new sense of panic and alarm overwhelming them. Then, just as the anxiety reached a fever pitch, it was silenced by the sight of the city's central obelisk bursting up out of its pits. The black object stretched high above the skyscrapers and metal-laced towers of the metropolis. The shadow of its immensity covered the gaping faces of Western and Eastern New Ring citizens alike. Once it stretched to the tallest height, it settled in place, rotated, and stopped with a loud metallic ring. Then, from top to bottom, rivulets of light formed, cascading a soft blue glow over the landscape. Then, in a flash, the entire urban scape lit up with the sheer power of the obelisk returning once more to the Darksenians' capital. Skyscrapers lit up, their framework turning ablaze in a hot blue luminescence. The rusty streets glazed over with a cool blue energy. One by one, the Darksenians emerged from their hiding places, dropping their weapons as all their city's renewed power and industry came full circle. Unicorns who were blood enemies just a few minutes ago stood side by side, relishing the blue light that filled every crevice and chased the smoggy mists away. Mothers and foals clung to each other, while distant siblings replaced their mono rifles with firm embraces. Finally, a murmur of shock was morphed into a cheer of ecstasy, and the city was alive with celebration. Governor Mental trotted out of her mansion, stumbling over chunks of battle-strewn debris. As she gazed fixedly at the resurfaced obelisk, she imagined a subtle Darksenian smile and began issuing orders to her advisors. As the Pawns East New Ring crossed the demolished wall to assist the Brethren in the west, somewhere along the rim of the towering obelisk, disheveled and trembling, Duke Zobnider sought his haunches. He was discovered by several armed members of Mental's brigade. It took a lot of calm and careful persuasion to remove the full skull that the sobbing stallion had cradled to in his grasp. While the rest of New Ring celebrated, the masked stallion was quietly ushered towards the facility for questioning. Steelteeth watched this from a plateau high above the fort bunkers that once housed so many displaced foals. Behind him, a massive reunion was taking place. Unicorn parents knelt and scooped their children up in their forelimbs, sharing laughter and tears after coming together for the first time in weeks, months, even years. Steelteeth's nostrils flared as they turned from the happy sight to the cryptic haze of sapphire light cascading off the obelisk, and filling the streets of New Ring with brightness and vigor. There was hardly a single puff of steam to be seen. It was almost dawn, but the constable could hardly tell with how brightly the city was now burning.
It looks almost pretty in a way, doesn't it?
Blinking, Steelteeth stood up and spun his metal body around. Rainbow hovered calmly before him, her limbs folded as she smiled with calm approval at the obelisk.
Blue glow is best glow, don't you think?
Steelteeth blinked at her, gazed at the obelisk where the gaping pit had been, then back to Rainbow Dash.
You.
His voice rang metallically.
You did this somehow, didn't you?
Yeah, sure, why not?
She scratched her forelimb across her chest and gave it a bored glance.
Not all of us can be full of bad flankery like you, Steely. Some of us just gotta steal the home plate, you feel me?
Since the day I stumbled into you, you have been nothing but impulsive and childish and unpredictable.
Hey!
She grinned wide, her teeth showing.
You're welcome.
His aquamarine eyes blinked and the coils of his skull flickered. Slowly, he exhaled.
I almost wonder why a white man put me in charge of you and not the other way around.
Yeah, well...
Rainbow hovered around him, shrugging.
That's the thing about awesomeness. It has a way of flipping things upside down. Heck, even I get dizzy over it. But I don't plan to stick around long enough to throw up.
His eyes narrowed. gazed at the glowing city, then at the horizon. In a surprisingly awkward voice, Steelteeth stammered.
You're leaving?
He stood up straight, with his metal joints hissing.
Somehow, you brought power and industry back to the city in a single blink. And you're not even sticking around to bask in the triumph?
Believe me, if I stay around, I wouldn't be basking, dude. Besides...
She turned around and glanced towards the east. Between the glow of the city and the golden hint of dawn, she saw the berries tint of lavender, faint yet distant.
Things are starting to make a little sense to me.
Steelteeth gravely nodded.
Hey, don't be sad!
She winked and reached into her saddlebag.
Look what I found on my way up from Obeliskville!
She produced a broad-rimmed hat and slapped it down on Steelteeth's metal skull.
Better tilt that thing the other way the next time you go visit Ridgeside, and catch up with old times with Evergreen, am I right?
Steelteeth adjusted the hat. When his face tilted back up, a blue glint reflected off his jaws. For the constable was smiling.
You know, Miss Dash, I might just consider doing that.
Heck, that made this whole darn escapade worth it!
She fluttered towards Governor Mental's building to the south.
Well, almost.
I thought you were leaving.
Gotta check on one thing first.